Hey YouTube, it's your favorite mega church cult survivor Leah Order, and I'm back. I'm here. I'm live, and actually, you've me quite a lot. I'm also live on TikTok, and I'm live on Instagram. I'm extremely exhausted today, so I just had to throw on the bonnet chair. But anyway, it's a celebration of blackness and black women, and I think it's appropriate for me to wear my bonnet chair. Do you know what I mean? Just rep it for all the gal them. Do you know what I mean? Because if I'm in my yard, I'm going to be wearing my bonnet. Are you all right? Especially with the natural hair, we got to keep it safe. Yeah. All right. Where's my phone? Oh gosh, I'm a mess. You lot. All right, so let's get into the topic. Let's get into it. I want to talk about, and in the background, I've got I think they're a UK South London group called Kokoroko, and this is their full performance live on KEXP. If you're wondering what this beautiful piece of music is, so it's a celebration of blackness tonight. And please, all cultures, all races, let's all be one and unified. Race is a social construct, but unfortunately, it's a very real social construct. So there's a lot of white supremacy in the church. I'm just going to say in general. I just really want to just deconstruct this real quick because there's a lot of human fecal matter out there. So let's talk about facts, because I like to talk about facts. So let's get it, guys. I'm only going to use these kind of words once, so people who are in here are going to have to click on. If you have questions, ask, and there are people in the chat who can tell you. All right, so how Christianity was repurposed to police blackness, bodies, and spirits. For many black people, and I'm going to be using the acronym BLK. So for many BLK people in colonized and post-colonial contexts, this religion didn't arrive as a neutral spiritual gift. It arrived as a tool of governance. European empires and their missionary arms brought a package, a religion interpreted through European cultural norms, a moral code that mapped onto colonial social hierarchies, and a civilizing aesthetic: suits, pulpits, church buildings, gendered roles, heavy on the gendered roles. Clack it. That package was taught as true Christianity, while African spiritual practices, ancestor veneration, healing, divination, goddess and communal rites were labeled witchcraft, heathen or demonic. The result: whole peoples were taught to distrust and devalue their own spiritual lineages and embodied ways of being. So again, as I said to you, people want to come in and say, oh, it wasn't brought to us, it was in Ethiopia before. And I'm going to be human fecal matter and all of that, chair, because it's all human fecal matter. Let's talk about facts. But again, when they came to our land, hey Queen Lucia, when they came to our land, we were singing and dancing. We weren't clothed. We were eating, fruits from that. We didn't even realize that we were sitting on a gold mine. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just happy, just loving nature at one. And came and enforced this really Eurocentric, colonialist enforcement of control through cult tactics. And guys, this is so hard. You can see my body language. Look at what I'm doing. It's a lot. And isn't it better to just say, oh, it doesn't matter as long as we have Jesus. It doesn't matter. It's easier to do that than unpack it. You know what I'm saying? Unpack all the trauma. But this is what we need to do, because it's in the epigenetics. That's why right now, somewhere in North London, RPF are in full-blown religious psychosis. Like the footage I've got, I'm just like, why are they still filming their people on prayer? And someone said, why are they even filming prayers? And I thought to myself, I thought about it afterwards, and I thought it's so true, because it's such a private thing. Hi, I love your vibe. Can I be your vibrator? Go on then if you want. You're not accessing this energy, but for a fun game, sure, why not? All right. Wonderful. We really appreciate you guys being in here today. So does everybody understand what they did in the demonization of African spirituality? Anyway, let's get into it, guys, because there's a lot. So, televangelism, the prosperity gospel, and a YT coded model of success. So, we're going to look at how this was introduced. So, in the late 20th century, welcome Instagram. In the late 20th century, the export didn't stop with missionaries. So, we had the missionaries that came first. Then we had the spread of the American televangelists. Hey, Carlo, and the prosperity gospel became major cultural exporters to Africa. I gotta really watch my mouth because I know this is really close to home, and so this is why I've got ChatGPT. The prosperity message, that spiritual favor is shown through visible material success, mapped perfectly onto a post-colonial hunger for status and stability. And it also fits the aesthetics of power, big buildings, branded media, celebrity pastors. What I want to just focus on here, yeah, is the fact that the use of the word exported to Africa, and then the fact that the prosperity message is spiritual favor shown through visible material success. Yeah, remember, we were sitting on gold, we were sitting on oil, we didn't know the value, and you know what I mean, like the cost of things, because we were so happy just loving nature and the earth and spirituality and being at one with the land. And imagine that world. Imagine the world before colonization, where people could just be in their native, their own truths, no enforced religion, rules, agenda, social structures, indoctrinate. This is what we need to go back to. Yeah, sitting on resources you didn't know how to use. Exactly. But the point is that we just went into that. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not even about we just went into that. Thank you. It's the celebration of Blackness because of Ginger Albino J. So again, you see the post-colonial hunger for status and stability in all of this dominion, buildings, mega churches, and they've seen it through that lens, because it's the lens of a YT colonialist master. All right. So that's why it's like that, and that's just the truth. Are you ready to hear the truth? Are you ready to look in the mirror? Are you ready to unpack it? Because this is what it is. It's not up for debate. All right. Lucia, you know that one, Sanaveda, could you just give them a warm welcome for me, babe? I return to send us Sakwe Salop. All right. So it's also about fitting into the aesthetics. Have I got, who else is on here? What mods have I got? Are there mods on here? Carlo, are you on here? Carlo, be a mod for me, please. It's all right. It was that guy in the who I blocked. I don't know what. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. I'll say the name next time because it might be a bit delayed. The energy was wild. All right, so clock that the spiritual favor is shown through visible material success, because we didn't have that buildings, dominion. It wasn't like that. Spirituality was like, it's about the river and the earth and the trees, but they came and enforced. It's just horrible. I don't even know if I'll be able to do this, but I just want you to understand that the same thing that they, like how they enslaved us and took over those diasporas, was through religion. It was through the enforcement. It was through the psychological control. All right, Haynes, thank you. So I've got Carlo, Haynes, and Lucia. It was through the psychological control. The same indoctrination that they were doing up then is the same stuff that they do in these spaces. It's all the same, because it was given to us by the IT colonialist. It's about suppression. It's about control. It's about dominion. It's about colonization. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the roses, Ursula. That's all it's about. And do you know why we all need to care? Because we're all one. So if my sister hurts, so do I. It doesn't matter if she's Indian, Moroccan, Hispanic, European, whatever. Yeah, yes, we are one. So if my and we're all one, we all and this is, I don't even want to talk about the context of race, but the reason I'm doing it is because there's a ginger albino in these streets, yeah, basically coming for black women. It's just a lot. I can't get into it because I'm very irritated tonight, but that's why I'm breaking it down. And also the internalized acism within these religious settings, it does need to get spoken about, but I just want to let everyone know my family's like the united colours of Benetton. I see no race. We all bleed the same. However, it's a social construct that it's just perpetuated into society to the point where we've had to create psychological concepts like and theories like and models like intersectionality, so forth, etc. Anti-acist theories and whatnot. Yeah, because the social construct has become so real. And it's such a shame, but it's got to be spoken about. And guys, let me know how this is feeling. If you want pauses, breaks, if you want to come in and do some breathing, because I think I might have to do that. I'm just going to see how it goes. Blackness that often looks and acts middle class and westernized is what they're going for. That's what they're turning us into. You know, these like civil servants of society, like going along with what the government want us to do. You know, we're getting rinsed out. But do you know what, guys? I've got more faith in the government than in these religious institutions, because at least there's certain policies. And yes, Jesus is the God, the only God there is it? Hallelujah. You lot are religious. You lot are in a religious psychotic state, yeah. Mods, can you see the comment? Can you see the saint on here? Can you see the saint? Thank you. So this is what they want. They want a more palatable blackness. Do you understand what I'm saying? That appeals to other people because it's a business, all right? Because we're not we're the minority here. And, you know, there's so much demonization of us in media, in different things. So what they try to do is they try to turn us into like whiteys in these settings. And that's why, for me, the whole institution, we built civilizations, but in different ways. We didn't build systems of control. We built like systems of technology, trying to like generate electricity, light through the Orion's belt, the miracles and mysteries of the world, the pyramids, etc. They've tried to, you know, delete a lot of our history, unfortunately. But I would really suggest that you deconstruct. It's a very essential part of this. If anyone's looking into religion, the first thing you need to do is deconstruct slavery. I wish someone had said that to me. But I wish someone had said that to me, like in my teens, like before you look into religion, like just make sure you deconstruct Christianity, because and slavery. But it's synonymous. You can't talk about slavery without talking. But then there's other things that do come into it, because we also had the colonization, like of the Arabs and all that. So again, so what's the common denominator here? Power, control, ego. It's all about high control, guys. And so do you see that it's just it transcends race now, because it's just about the malignant narcissist supply, unfortunately. That narcissistic supply. You know I've lost where I was. Sorry, bear with me, guys. I'm a bit tired tonight, yeah. But I hope you lot are getting the energy. I have to do this one though. This one is so interesting. Okay. Wait. Okay. Oh, okay. I've got it. Okay. Okay. So those forms of leadership. So those American forms of church leadership rewired local churches to prize spectacle, marketability, and proximity to global, mostly whitey cultural standards of success. This made the new church an arena for performance and for reproducing classed, racialized aesthetics. So again, there's this social conformity to this evangelical denomination like Pentecostalism, that whole, like the revival through that new religious movement that came from, like the Americas and and Europe. Yeah. Is this making sense, everybody? Are you following? They just wipe out anything that doesn't make them profit. Yeah. And also I think it's interesting to even look at, like, to ask the question, what is success? Because back home when we were like living amongst nature and we were just enjoying the land and Mother Earth and whatever, that was success. But do you see how the colonizers' mindset of success is buildings, dominion, taken over territory, like Christopher Columbus vibes? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Was that his name? It's Christopher Columbus, isn't it? How can you go to an island on a ship and put a flag on it and say, oh, I found this country, I'm going to call it Spain? It's wild. And it's the same thing they do. They go to freaking Birmingham. I'm declaring that Birmingham is for the Lord. Like, it's wild, man. You lot need to open your eyes, man. Colonialism and their cooperation, yeah. And I'm so glad that the young people are waking up now. That's why I feel like I'm on here. Whenever I feel like I need to come on live, it's always because someone's watching. Like someone needs to hear it. If you're the one, hey. All right. Whew. This is difficult. That's why they told us in the history books. That's what they told us in the history books. But in actual, yeah. It's all lies, isn't it? I think the awakening that's going on at the moment is people are questioning, like, what is even real? Do you know what I mean? Like what's the truth? What's false? What's real? Have they just been lying to us about everything? Like, we're actually questioning it all. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I think even people within religion, do you know what I'm saying? Like everyone's questioning it. Something's up, man. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Internalized atheism and Eurocentric and church aesthetics. The suit, tie, carpeted sanctuary, choir and robes look is not spiritually neutral. It's a visual code that tells the world we are civilized, respectable, modern. That code was taught by colonial missionaries and reinforced by later institutional churches and media. And if you haven't checked out the letter of King Leopold, the King of Belgium, who sent his missionaries there and basically told them to take over the Congo and break their souls and spirit by twisting and manipulating the scriptures. Basically the same thing that the Boris's and the Mogs are doing up right now. It's just exactly the same thing. They went to divide us so they can control, definitely. That's why they couldn't take over Haiti, don't you see? That's why they demonized it. It's all making sense now. That's the reason why they demonized certain parts in culture as well, in Asia, because they also couldn't take over. Because do you know what, guys? It's so sensitive on here. But don't worry, once we're going to start the collective university in January and we'll have Discord groups, I'm going to be letting it rip. We're going to really go into deep conversations on there because it's not going to be like TikTok. Everyone's just going to be able to say whatever the hell comes to their head. And that's the vibes I'm going to be on. Hi, Naomi. My name is actually Leah. But I'm just going to put that down to cultural because I know that you guys, I just get it. I'm not going to take it too personally because I know how it is. I know you've probably grown up in a hyper religious household, and your mom has probably shown you. But don't block her. Don't block her because that church cult that she's asking about, is a big time cult. It's not letting me pin a comment though. Oh yeah. So that cult that you're talking about, I've seen Afro atheists talk a lot about this Jerry Ezzy guy. Girl, you can see that he's just a thief. Naomi, can't you see that he's a thief? Girl, I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, I think you need to be on this live, babe. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of what I'm talking about is the reason your mum attends there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get it, babe? So this is what's helping us deconstruct, because it's not a BLK church problem, but we have to admit that there is a problem in the BLK church. He's one of the worst. He's just a thief, man. They're all about the money. They don't care about no one, and they control them, and they're absolutely indoctrinated in there. Because they're selling invisible blessings, they got to put on like this performative thing. So they're on there all the time. It's like to make them look like they're doing something. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, because they're magicians, illusionists, but people still have normal lives. They don't have normal lives because they're siphoning off the energy of everyone else. History repeating itself. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all the woke people will know the times that we're in and where we're going. Do you know what I mean? But all the religious people are hiding in mind altered state. Shabaya, the whole world is like crumbling there and there, but they think they're doing something. And this is why we're in this state, because like there's not enough like world changers and, you know, transformative people in the right places in society. They're just all indoctrinated. My mum attacked me after I told her he travels in the private jet. Yeah, girl, you know what? Yeah, 1 second, guys, because my stomach is feeling empty. Chair. What I'm gonna say, girl, is gosh, I just want to say, first of all, I do feel really bad for you, because it sounds like your mum is extremely hyper religious. So you probably would have grown up in a household where girl, this is going to be personal. Are you happy for me to say this? Because this is going to be quite personal, Naomi. So if you want me, do you want me to just give you, okay, I can look at your comment and say, oh, you know, that's it, you know, it's a shame. Or I can like tell you the depth behind that. All right. So you've most likely come from a household where your mum has emotionally neglected you, and in many ways, because in these type of settings, the church cult comes first. So if there's a camp, if there's something going on, it's like you might have not got the trainers that you wanted. This might not be your story, but this is a lot of survivors' stories. I'm seeing a pattern. Do you get what I'm saying? Where it's like they would want certain things, like as a child, and it's like your mum would say no. But then for the church cult, she's giving offerings, she's giving this, she's giving that, and it's just hyper religious. She's just in this bubble, like just in there 24 hours a day. And then it could have been a thing where you're born into it. So it's like your whole identity is it's like hyper religious. So you can't even talk to her. It's like a blank wall. It's like lights are on, but no one's home. Exactly that. That's because of the indoctrination. So that's a church cult, and he's a malignant narcissist. So they're narcissists. So they want that supply off your mum. What I would say, babe, is this is a good life to be in. I've got a lot of content on YouTube where you can deconstruct on there, because I would say, babe, you just got to put yourself first, because there's no guarantee your mum's going to get out of this. Unfortunately, I'm just going to have to give you the truth. I've seen many people unlive in these settings, do you know what I mean, in their old age, still waiting in hyper religious states, like zoned out, like they're in hypnosis, still waiting on the invisible blessings. So I would say focus on yourself, girl. Do you know what I mean? Like love yourself, like see it as a lesson. Do you understand what I'm saying? To like not be in those settings and not be that for your child. And I know this is going to be quite heavy, but I've just got to give you the truth, because at the end of the day, we don't have time, and we do have to break the cycle. Unfortunately, a lot of the older generation that are going to be around your mum's age are completely, like I was saying, you know, that comedian that goes around and pretends to do the judge on the public, and he goes and targets like aunties and uncles, most likely like fit in your mum's type of, you know, similar you know, aesthetic, yeah. And they are so paro, they start cussing him. Even one auntie, you know the sound when the money goes from your phone, he convinced her that the money was going from her phone. She didn't even check her phone. So there's a cognitive dissonance because of the indoctrination. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it's ruined a whole like generations. It's in our epigenetic. It goes so deep. So because your mum's is just completely indoctrinated, you've got to deconstruct that trauma to break the cycle. So you got to look into it. Did your dad show affection to your mum? Was your mum in a happy marriage? If not, you know, unfortunately, you know, these spaces do attract a lot of pick-me's and Barbara the Builders, and they'll spend their whole life building these institutions, that they'll spend their whole life building another man's empire and giving them all their money whilst they neglect everything and everyone around them. And that's what I've seen. Like, if my sister, to be honest though, my ex-husband, when we had the kids, he said, I don't want no one holding the kids, I don't want no one around the kids, because he weren't like a homegrown cult member. Do you get it? So he just had all these rules, and he was the head, so I had to listen. I don't know if I would have been as free with my kids because I was severely indoctrinated. Do you know what, guys? You see, like in 10, 20 years time, we're going to get the kids coming out, man, talking about all of the PDF stuff going on in it, because it's just too free. There's been generations, but the problem is these kids are like second gen. Their parents are still in the cult as we speak. They are the ones preaching from the pulpit that have been essayed, that have been PDF, that have been, do you know what I mean? They're still in there. And that's how they're able to keep, like, to silence people and keep ABUSC and people in these settings. Because it's like, when I look at the women that have experienced the most horrific cases of SA and grape and things like that, they've been like practical family in the cult. Do you understand what I'm saying? To the point where they felt like they could violate them like that. Mad. It's because of all of the toxic cultural ideological perspectives that they have. They treat the women like objects that they can be bought. There's pros and cons with that. But I just find that a lot of the women don't love themselves. The uncles cheat on them. They focus so much on the exterior, and they're empty inside. We've got to talk about it. And then they say things like, we are the only ones that can handle our men. And then, oh, whatever, babe. If you took a stand and healed, instead of using the excuse, oh, I'm staying with him for the children, when really you don't want to heal, you don't want to put in the work, you don't want to be by yourself, you don't want to stand on, you know what I mean? You're just a pick-me. You're just codependent on a man. You don't want to deal with your trauma. And they cover it with hyper-religiosity, and you can't talk to them. They shut you down and start telling you that you're the devil. It's ridiculous. It's about time they got exposed, man. I'm sick of it. I got married in it. I was in it for 10 years, man. I need to get exposed. How can you have that mindset as a 50-year-old grown woman? And it causes so much damage to the kids. I'm so glad I deconstructed from that, like, very, like, authoritarian pick-me, like, auntie, because I would have destroyed my kids. The way the kids are in these settings, they're so traumatized. They're all the ones on TikTok that we're seeing, like, saying, oh, you know, do you think, listen, like, my kids might not understand, but I said to you, Chair, croissants from Little Bakery. I said to you, Chair, there's no way. I had to get to a point where I was like, I don't want my kids to be on TikTok, you know, like 10 years later being like, oh, if it would have meant that I wouldn't have been born, if mummy wouldn't have met daddy and she would have lived her life and this and that. Oh, Chair, I'm not waiting for you to turn adult to be telling me you wish you wasn't born for me to. I'm living my life now. Are you all right? Because guess what? When you choose yourself, you choose your kids. But what they do is they put it all the wrong way around. They're worshipping a man, then they're worshipping the kid. They want to do everything, being the superhero. Then they get rinsed out because they start looking like it. Yeah, come in. No. Eno, please close the door. She tried to come and do that on live. Thank you. No. I don't care. You can have a croissant. Have that then. Close my door, please. Share with everyone. I don't even know what I was talking about. What was I talking about, guys? But anyway, it was good, innit? It was getting to a good... Oh, yeah. They start looking like Molly the maid. Because they're trying to do everything. Cook, clean. They're trying to cook, clean the whole house. They're trying to raise the kids. They're trying to do homework with the kids. Because the man will just be sitting there with his feet up on the footstool. chatting to his mistress. That's what he'll be doing. She's just come home from a 9-to-5 job, you know, laving it out there. She comes straight home to start cooking, preparing the meal. Whilst the husband's there. Then she's got the kids doing the homework on the table. The husband's there texting his mistress. But I say to all of these gal them, like, you know, like you're all like just got married yesterday, or you just got engaged the other day, you're in your 20s, 25, 26, 28. I'm not wishing no badness upon no one, innit? But I just know how these man them get down. And as I said to you, all of these gal them that are sitting on here, all the Brenny Lees and everything, they're all going to be here in 10 years' time. Yeah. Rebranding. Mark my words. That's why you don't follow no one. Hey, Joe. That's why you don't follow no one. You follow yourself. You be your own boss. Why are you going and following people? And then it's like, didn't you see with that wizard Liz? They're going to do what they want for themselves. They're just all pick-me's, man. To be putting yourself out there, like talking about dating, you're a pick-me. Shira 7 don't talk about dating, babe. Shira 7 is a goddess. Shira 7, listen, babes. All the rest of them, if you see a guy them trying to do relationship advice and this and that, pick me. Why is your whole content about how to please a man, what to do for a man, what to do? Are you all right? All of your energy you're putting it, you're a pick me. Just love yourself, man. It's so simple. You don't need no, just love yourself. Just go within, love yourself. Because once you start loving yourself, you just start elevating. Because that's your true authenticity. Like it's a mindset. That's why I keep telling you. I'm out and about. I drive a Mini Countryman. It's not the newest plate. And I see them. I'll be in my car. I'm doing my videos. I'm dancing to my music. I'm just vibing. Like, I'm a vibe. Them will come and stop next to me in the traffic light. She's in a Mercedes 72 plate. Babe, why are you hating? Why do you feel intimidated? Like, your car's all the way up here. I'm all the way down here at the traffic lights. It's an aura. It's a vibe. Guys, man, you got to open your eyes. These gal them are washed up. It's not about material things. Like we've surpassed that now. We're in a different world. Like all of that, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't mean anything. They're just all superficial. They just want to be seen. They just want to come on the internet to sit there in their car in their perfect wig, and it's just like, oh, whatever, babe. Do you know what I mean? It's like, give us a break. Yawn. Do you know what I mean? These gal them are lost. Fake as hell. They're so fake. Everything is so scripted. They don't know who the hell they are. These gal them are fake. Anyway, keep going and following. You lot in 10 years. Let's see my life and let's see your life. All these gal them are going to be unhappy marriages. And what my intention is when you're there and the penny drops, you'll think of me. The girl that you was crazy, coming forward with the blonde braids, reporting up my life. You're going to be sitting there. Most of these gal them, it's just like the switch just goes off. Like some of these men actually turn women like they just go off. So what you'll notice in a lot of these settings is that the women are in autopilot. They're completely disassociated. They'll sit in the back of the church and they're zoned out, like tapped out. Nothing there. The only time you really see them engage is when it's like exasperated, hyper religious event. So if they're just there. I think that's my car. If they're just there like praying in tongues for like, I don't know, like 12 hours, you'll see them pull up. It's so crazy. But I would just stay out of these settings altogether until they fix up, man. Until they start taking accountability and some of the laws and that get changed. Just stay in your yard. You know, we've got a virtual reality now. I actually prefer the virtual world. I think there's more equilibrium because a lot of people have disabilities. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that people are disabled. It's that the world is a disabling environment. So instead of having stairs, if we just had lifts or we just had like You know, what's them things that they could, you know, you can go on the wheelchair and that with, you know what I'm talking about. It would be a fairer society. So I like apps like TikTok. I see all different types of people with all different types of, you know, mental health issues and whatever, and we're all coming together as a community to support each other. Why don't we just support each other? That there's people that deserve to get help and be crowdfunded and supported to like do things that can help change, you know, communities and their lives and society, and you know, and transform and change. That's what we need to be doing, instead of giving Kim Kardashian our bloody money and giving Kylie Jenner on a lip kit. Does it make any bloody sense? We need to start pouring into ourselves, like buying knowledge, whatever that looks like for you. I don't know what that looks like. That's going to look different for everybody else. Like this behind me, this is knowledge, this painting. Y'all can't see it. I'm so sorry. Do you want to see it? Let me show you YouTube. Look, YouTube, isn't that a beautiful piece of art? There you go, Instagram. Absolutely stunning, right? Stunning piece of art. Because it's just a celebration of Blackness tonight. Because, you know, I just feel like there's been a lot of disrespect towards us queens with Ginger J. So I was just coming on here to do a little bit of deconstruction. I don't know how we got here, chair, but we will drift off. That was my break. All right. Okay, so they wanted to turn us into this civilized, respectable, modern society of people. That code was taught by colonial missionaries and reinforced later by institutional churches and media. Over generations, this produced an internal preference for whitened markers of respectability inside many BLK churches. Lighter skin, straighter hair, polished manners, and Western dress became signals of trustworthiness and front-facing leadership. This is so deep, mum. Because you see, like when I came in, I was very like road and things like that. And it's like they feel like they make you, because they turn you into this, like, I don't even know how to, it's like just a doormat, you know. And again, it's like if you look at those, you know, the gender stereotypical and, you know, the gender inequality and hierarchical roles that they got in there, very stereotypical, you know. I remember when I first came to the church, I wanted to be an usher. The men had the bags and they were collecting the money. I was in some masculine energy when I came in there, chair. I said, I want to be an usher. They said, oh, no, it's just the men. It's like things like that, because the men are only allowed to be ushers. All right, let me stay focused, because I can feel like I'm going to disassociate. When survivalist churches or cult leaders are desperate for legitimacy, they will recruit and display people who best fit that code, often lighter-skinned women in visible ministry roles, while pushing darker-skinned, distinctly women from back home presenting that aesthetic. Because guys, I've got to change it here, because my live is so sensitive, into service positions or erasure. So they'll have to dampen down the BLK-ness. Do you know what I mean? They have to tone down the BLK-ness. So that's why you'll see that, like the aunties, the LPs, the WOGs that are in there, they will be trying to look the most conservative out of everybody. Like they're going to the Royal Ascot. They've got to tone down that. Yeah, come in. I'm on live on every single one, including YouTube. Are you okay? Okay, give me a second. All right, my darling, I can see what you want. I'll bring the charger. Go out. I'm coming. Okay. So, there's a lot going on tonight, chair. I might have to go, guys. I'm gonna say I've probably got about 10 minutes. Let me see. So, So it's that erasure of the BLK-ness. Do you understand what I'm saying? And yeah, no, she's got the charger, girl. She's got the charger. She wants a specific one with the light. She's not this. Like, I'm not going to move everything for her to get the charger with the light. My child is, yeah, I've overdone it. Since I've left the cult, I have overdone it in terms of the attention and stuff. But I've had to do that because, especially the smaller one, my sister raised her when I was in the cult. So she wants a specific charger. All right. So, demonizing African spirituality, the mechanism and the harm. Oh, you have three. Oh, okay, so you get it. Hey, Ange. Demonizing African spirituality, the mechanism and the harm. Missionary and colonial responses. Guys, I think I need to cleanse. I need to thing my energy a little bit. Wait a minute. There's a lot going on energetically. And take a few deep breaths.
A pedal brings action, and the pedal can trigger an effortless clean. The Divination turbo spins and rings. With every step, your mop gets drier for a great clean.
All right, because this is a lot. Unpack as a Black woman to read this is a lot. Because I haven't deconstructed any of this. This is the first time like that you're hearing it. This is the first time I'm reading it. All right. Missionary and colonial responses commonly framed African spiritual systems as superstition or devilry, an assertion backed by colonial law and education. That labeling did two things. It criminalized and delegitimized indigenous religious specialists, healers, priestess, diviners, and it rewired self-image. I just feel like they've robbed us of so much, man. They've robbed us of so much. Oh. I didn't realize how deep it was, man. So it rewired self-image, especially in women whose social authority was tied to those roles. So you can see like the social authority and standing. Yeah, Bev, it's hard to read it, man. It must be so difficult to hear it. I thought I was the only one. That's why I've tried to put on something to kind of help us process this. So do you see that women had power and roles in their communities and these positions of authority, and they've totally wiped them out again? And that's what I think with the Ginger J thing. This is what's deep rooted in our subconscious psyche as the BLK woman. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they erased all of this. Do you get what I'm saying? And then they've demonized the BLK women. And then seeing it come from someone of our own is it just all of this, it just brings it all up to the surface. I've got to try and stay focused, otherwise I won't be able to deliver this. The consistent message, thanks Ange, the consistent message inside colonized contexts and often reproduced inside conservative or cultic churches is, if you reach for ancestral, bodily or communal spiritual power, you are ungodly. It's of the DEVIL. This is spiritual gaslighting by design. Everyone, after you get off the live, go on ChatGPT and ask them, if you were going to use one book in the world, if you were going to use one book, if you had to use one book to control the world, what would it be? Body's Modesty and the Adam and Eve Distortion. So a survivor we were having like a discourse around, I don't remember what it was. I think it was after we went to see, you know, Sinners, you know that film, was it called Sinners, you know that one? And afterwards she was like doing a lot of deconstruction, and she said she doesn't understand, she's struggling to understand how like Adam and Eve like ate this like fruit, and then all of a sudden they knew they were naked, and then they realized that they were in sin. And she was like, that's part of like, you know, like culture, like, and it's like it's been there like from the beginning of time, and even when that was going on, so it just doesn't make sense. Has it been demonized? Even like the body of a woman has been so like over actualized through this patriarchy and misogyny, and then there's just like no accountability. Anyway, that was my thought process behind this. Somebody asked, what is this? It's ChatGPT, but it is my hypotheses and ideological thinking. And ChatGPT has put this like backed it up with psychological concepts and evidence-based research and theories. All right, so I'm writing a book. All of this is going to be in my book. So the answer is my book. All right, it'll be out in January. Biblical stories were reinterpreted through European modesty codes. Adam and Eve's nakedness became moralized as shame in ways that mapped to Victorian European attitudes. Many African societies historically had different norms about body, dress, and ritual. So do you see again? Similarly, if we look at education, that's also indoctrination, because when you look at the developmental milestones, if we look at like education, the development of a child, that would be a disproportionate and biased, unfair view if we were to go and maybe study, you know, like a village in Africa or the Amazon jungle somewhere. They may not know how to like conventionally like read and write and do like times tables or whatever, and they very may well be. But at the same time, the child who knows 4 times 4 may not be able to build a hut or a house, and that child is doing that. So again, it's like, how do we measure intellect? We have to, you know, there's different things that we have to consider, like cultural dynamics. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like many different lens that we can look at for it. But again, in these cults, it's very black and white thinking, so they see the canon Bible for a very black and white lens, and one of them is that rhetoric that the Bible is infallible. Anywhere you go that says the Bible is infallible, that they're telling a lie to themselves, and beneath all of that, it's about money. Because even if the Mog found out that the Bible wasn't infallible, he's not going to stand up there on a Sunday, because he'd lose the whole congregation and everything he'd built. These people don't know God. They don't know God. And my prayer every day is that God will show the world that majority of these Mogs and these people in leadership, that they don't know him. He's got nothing to do with them. Absolutely nothing. Nothing of the sort. Doesn't know them. Doesn't know who the hell they are in these streets. Yeah. Some communities practice forms of dress that Europeans called immodest. Does it sound familiar? Hey, signed AF. But which were normal, ritualized, and not eggshellized in the same way. So it was their corrupt, dark minds that came and saw that as, oh, you've got to cover. Do you know what I mean? But everybody was living good. Do you understand what I'm saying? So again, it's that reprobate mind. It's the EVIL mind. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hey, it's the same mind that these Mogs and that have got. I'm telling you. Missionaries taught that such embodiment was sinful, thereby turning natural African corporeal expression, I don't know what that is, yeah. I think that might just be cultural, traditional, that's what I'm guessing, expression into a source of spiritual shame. That's so sad. That shame then becomes a lever, policing women's clothing, shaming curvaceous bodies, and labeling BLK women's natural sensuality as a spiritual failing. All tactics to keep women small, compliant, and easily controlled. I think even in some African spiritual practices, don't they have like they have like even quite sensual dances, isn't it, and things like that? And it's not like the men are not. There's no like they're not actually doing that. Do you know what I mean? But it's like I don't fully understand it. Again, I don't judge things that I don't understand, but that just came to my mind. Again, this is just all demonization, and they demonize what they don't understand and what they don't take. Because what it is a lot of these mogs are entitled, and they just come in there and speak human fecal matter because everyone's brainwashed. It's a bag of kids, yeah. So their brain hasn't even fully formed. So they can go there and just say things. Everyone's like, ooh, and everyone else is in spiritual psychosis. Do you understand what I'm saying? But really and truly, they don't know nothing. They haven't really taken the time to like go with it. They can't do that. They're running from themselves, share. That's why they want everybody else, you get what I'm saying, to have these like false ideologies of self. It's like it's a supply. They're getting fed that way. Do you get it? Okay. I think this is the one that I'm going to end on, and then I'm going to come back tomorrow. What time is it? Because, guys, this is quite heavy. And I think what I'm going to do is just like a reflective space if people want to say how they feel, etc. Because I don't want to overload y'all. So I think let me know how it feels, though, guys. I think it feels quite comfortable to start with the Bible in Africa and the Ethiopia myth. That's what ChatGPT has called it, the Ethiopia myth, you know, that the faith started there. All right, let's get into this one because I'm hoping that this will be empowering, a nice way to kind of end the evening. Well, it ends, but it starts for us when we come off here as well. Who knows, might want to read a book or whatever. I'm so tired. But I'm so committed. I'm so committed. I'm so with it. I haven't been putting any content out, so I wanted to make sure that I was doing the lives. I just haven't got the energy, guys. All right. So let's get into it. The Bible in Africa and the Ethiopia myth. Christianity spread into Africa has many complex threads. Some early Christian communities, e.g. in North Africa, Nubia, and the Horn, predate modern colonialism. And Ethiopia has a long Christian history that many honor as ancient. But the way some church leaders deploy Ethiopia sorry guys, but the way some church leaders deploy Ethiopia equals first true Christian Africa to claim spiritual primacy is often overstated and used politically. So there's political reasons behind this. Christian roots in Africa are diverse, and the biblical canon and European Christendom's institutional forms were shaped in European context. Let's take this again. Because I didn't know what this was going to say. Life is full of surprises. So this whole Ethiopian thing, again, this is often overstated and used politically. So again, it's diverse, but the biblical canon and European Christendom, so the institutionalized forms now. So these are all of the religious institutions that we see, Catholicism, etc., were shaped in European contexts. Early councils, Roman, Byzantine power, and later Catholic institutional formations, before being exported and reinterpreted across Africa. I'm going to read that again because I'm struggling and I don't think this is tough. Guys, can I just ask how everybody's feeling? I feel like I want to get through this, but guys, if you do need to come off, because I've even got out a bit of hair as a comfort thing that I'm doing up. If you need to come off, please don't feel like you need to be on here to support me or hold the space. Hold the space for yourself. If you feel like it's too much, please, if you just need to go and take like a little breather, do so, because I would say this is the most difficult thing I've ever had to do before on the lives. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Bev. Same here. I'm really struggling, but I'm going to get through it. I'm struggling real bad. Okay, Leah, you can do this. Christian roots in Africa are diverse, and the biblical canon and European Christendom's institutional forms were shaped in European contexts. Early councils, Roman, Byzantine power, and later Catholic institutional formations before being exported and reinterpreted across Africa. So debunk the neat storytelling that says Ethiopia alone was the first true BLK Christian state and thus everything else must follow its model. It's a simplification that can be weaponized to silence other African spiritual histories. Churches as colonial continuations, how pastors become colonizers. When BLK pastors adopt the values of colonial churches, building megachurch complexes, importing foreign worship forms. Do you know that the reason I know how to sing like this? I believe you're my healer. I believe, Lord. I believe, Lord. I believe. Because my cult leader, he loved Hillsong. So he wanted us all to sing like Hillsong. So I had to sit there and listen to Darlene Check over and over and over and over and over again to sound like that. So that Eurocentric thing, like it is rife in these settings, all right? So importing foreign worship forms, policing dress and behavior according to whitey norms, enforcing hierarchy and male dominance. They replicate the function of colonizers. They control land, church properties, control people, membership, social capital, and control narrative, what counts as spiritual truth. So they colonize your mind. The prosperity model and celebrity pastor culture incentivize reproduction of these structures because they confer power, money, and global legitimacy. So in a nutshell, the more that these mogs and whatever have these big church buildings, they got all this money, they get all this, then that's what is making other corrupt, malignant narcissists want to jump on and hop on the train. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they see there's dough there. That's the same thing like Anya Kapoor. Remember, he was telling people in these Brixton streets, because remember, I'm home girl. I'm home girl. I don't care. Because, baby, you might be in the church cult, but your family ain't. And they're the ones I'm talking to. Ooh, yes. They're the ones I'm talking to, baby. And they got my back. Because you're indoctrinated, but they know that I'm riding and banging out for you as you're indoctrinated. So they're riding out for me. Do you get it? You see it? Okay. All right. In cultic congregations, this becomes more severe. Leaders use spiritual language to justify forced submission, gendered control, body policing, and colorist promotions, all mechanisms that re-entrench servitude under a different name, slavery. Do you understand? So we're still picking cotton in the cotton field. And they're like this. This is why I said it's not a BLK problem, but we do have a problem in the BLK spaces. All right? Because they just want to be that colonizer real bad because they haven't dealt with the trauma and all of the issues from childhood. And a lot of them are uncles. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's just, you know, there's just that lack of knowledge. It's in the epigenetics. And until these mogs and porsters, until they deconstruct through, you know, like Lavery and do up all of that, it's just going to be ignorance. Do you understand what I'm saying? And for lack of knowledge, our people perish. That's why everyone was perishing. Thank God that in a time, because guys, I'm telling you, the way everyone's bugging out at the moment, the way the world's going, if people weren't speaking up, these spaces would have thrived. Everyone would have been running to them. And that's why I'm saying, like, they're feeling it. They're feeling it because by now there should have been a revival. There should be an overflowing revival because we've got chaos all around us. Do you know what I mean? Like, people's shops should be closed. If they had the real power of God, like, imagine if all of these mogs and all of these wogs were like me, like on my vim. Do you understand what I'm saying? That there should be a revival right now. If I was doing up that, if I had that power, and but that's why I'm not meant to be in there, because it's not meant to be that time for them. We're seeing the collapse, the collapse of it's the narcissistic collapse. These institutions are part of that collapse. I can't destroy nothing. It's got nothing to do with me. It's the malignant narcissists. They're part of the narcissistic collapse, and so are their institutions, their territories, their kingdoms, their dominions that they've built. They're colonizers. All right. Lucia, are you feeling like I should end the live and come back tomorrow? I felt to ask you that. Survivors, what are you lot telling me? I don't even know what happened. Oh, okay, here we go. I've got it here. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to come back and I'm going to deliver the rest of this tomorrow, okay? Because I just feel like, yeah, because you know what? It's been quite heavy. I've been on here for an hour. Tomorrow, I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about the theological distortion, Jesus's message versus institutional motive. Oh, but that's the last bit. I'm just going to do this bit quickly because this is the last bit. All right. So the theological distortion, Jesus' message versus institutional motive. So the mismatch is this. The radical subversive aspects of Jesus's teachings, care for the poor, critique of imperial power, emphasis on communal ethics have been reshaped into a theology. So do you see that? It was a movement. Christ was radical. As I said, he came to threaten the social constructs, the political structures. It was the imperial power of that time. And that imperial power included the Pharisees, included, Julius Caesar, the kings of, it was all of that imperial power, the critique. You weren't allowed to do that. That was unalivement. Do you understand what I'm saying? So Christ, they paint him like the sheep, that's this and that, but that's not the real Christ. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, Christ really does not ramp. Okay. So they've reshaped it and packaged it into a theology that they can sell, of respectability and individual accumulation in many of these imported forms. So again, it's about that subservience, the obedience to the mog. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then there's a lot of hyper-religiosity as well wrapped around this. Like, so the radical is like, we're going to do greater works. Christ said we're going to do greater works than him, save the souls, win the lost at any cost. Is this making sense, guys? Because this is very... this is quite complex what I'm saying. So if you're not getting it, but if you are getting it, let me know. That reshaping lets leaders argue that obedience and conformity equal holiness, while communal liberation and embodied freedom are framed as disorder or sin. Okay, brilliant. Thank you, user. So do you know why freedom is sin? Because it's who the Son sets free is truly free indeed. And where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. I didn't feel no liberty. I wasn't feeling free in there. And if they're really honest, they don't feel free. That's when I started to clock it. Like when I started to clock that God is not here, because I feel God's presence. When I started to clock that God is not here and there's no freedom, that's when I knew that's when I started to come out of that cognitive dissonance, and then the pandemic hit. So, it was just like a gradual process, man. You get me? Sorry, Instagram. I've been neglecting you. I'm going to do some special lives for you guys. That theological distortion is the spiritual grammar cults use to justify control and the suppression of BLK women's autonomy. So again, BLK women are second-class citizens within the setting. But remember, if Amanda walks in, do you know what I mean? She's going to be treated differently. And whoever Amanda likes, she's going to get. Even if Catherine's been into coffee for a while now, if Amanda likes Kofi, he's going to go for Amanda, and that's on period, point blank. All right. Final thread. What survivors should know. Okay. Oh, I don't care. I'm happy to be, baby. I don't care. What are you telling me? I don't care. I'm not even gonna answer these ACES individuals because they're so uneducated. And what I was gonna say, I just had to leave it. It's not worth the energy. All right. So what survivors should know? What about the First Lady delusion? Because I've done stuff around the covert narcissist, but let me take a picture of that because I do like that. I think that would be good to include in my book. I think I'm going to include it just like how I took the photo. It's really cool. Look at how the photo looks. Can you see it? And then it's got like your little comment there. I love the collective. Okay. I will dip a little bit into that just based off what I think. But let me remind me, can a mod pin that for me, please? This is not spiritual failure on your part. It's systematic cultural engineering. The demonization of African spirituality, the policing of bodies, the elevation of lighter-skinned women, these are legacies of colonialism, plus missionary projects, plus global televangelist dynamics knitting together. Naming it helps dismantle it. Call it colonial Christianity. Oh, that's deep. Prosperity export culture, colorist patriarchy, and spiritual erasure. Naming makes strategy possible. Share. I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm gonna have to go and process this live. Guys, I would say with this one, it's probably worth maybe rewatching it afterwards and just kind of like releasing and letting go. Hey Nick, welcome. Are you from Canada? What I would say about the First Lady delusion, again, I was talking about, I've spoken about this in a few different contexts, but not really focused on the delusion, which again is just because of the cognitive dissonance. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, another thing as well is because of their husband's power, a lot of the time they're riding off the back of the mog, like the husband's position of power. So everyone around them has to beg it. Everyone around them has to kiss their derriere. Even if they look at MESS, do you understand what I'm saying? Like everyone's like, oh, LP, you look so good. You look so lovely. You look so nice. Da, 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 da. It's just all lies. So it's, again, that is because she's getting neglected by the husband, by the mog. Do you get it? There's no, but anyway, I'm feeling to go because you could be a troll trying to get my live reported, but you could also be a survivor. But either way, I think that kind of sums it up. I will do up my little chat GBT thing and I will discuss that tomorrow. Love you. I'm going to go now, TikTok. And to you trolls, suck your mother. Someone said, no, no, no. As they said, no, 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 I got a related tutorial. I'm too woke. I'm too woke. I'm too woke outside in these streets. You lot can suck your mother dry. I hear from God. I hear from God. They were trying to get my ting lock off. Anyway, YouTube, I love y'all. I can't believe that this live lasted. I don't know how it lasted on TikTok. Only God knows, boy. But I reached nearly 700 people. So Bob's your uncle. Mwah. I've done my bidding for the night. Bye.